Hello and welcome to this week's Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm Paula, and today I'm just talking about a few takeaways I had from the landscape show, which we attended as TLC last week. As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. This week, I am in a different place because I'm currently looking after a little kitten. So we might have her join us as we go, but I hope everything's going well with you guys this week. Apologies if I sound a little bunged up. I have managed to get the dreaded cold, probably from the children going back to school and generally giving me their lovely colds they tend to come home with on a weekly basis. So apologies if I sound a bit bad. I feel a lot better than yesterday, so that's why I'm recording the podcast today on the day that we normally drop on Wednesday. So that's me in a nutshell. But I also think I probably felt a bit run down after all of the excitement, anticipation and stress of doing a show last week, which was the landscape show. So I saw a few of you there actually, which was fantastic, members and non-members. I met a few new people, which was really great, and made quite a lot of connections with other businesses and people in the industry, which was even more exciting. So yeah, it was great to meet a lot of you in person and meet some new people that I hope will be listening to this podcast and know more about TLC. I wanted to share with you guys a few things I took away from being at the show, exhibiting there, speaking there, and ultimately what you could think about taking away from these events, because I know we've got another one coming up soon in November at Futurescape. I am not exhibiting or speaking, but I will be attending on one of the days. I know a few of my wonderful TLC members will be there as well. So again, what I found with the landscape show and most shows in the industry is that it's a great way to reconnect with people that you haven't seen for months or years, depending on when your last show was or what you've been up to in the industry. And the benefit of that is there are so many connections you can make and create some brand new opportunities. I have literally been connecting with people and creating some really cool opportunities that I'll be able to announce shortly for my TLC members. I'm going to be running a competition, full details to follow. But again, this would not be happening if I had not made the effort to attend this show and then make that connection that's leading to this, what will be a great opportunity for TLC members. So yeah, I feel like the connections that you make and the opportunities that come from that and the relationships that you build off the back of those connections are worth more than their weight in the time that you spend. Because I think a lot of people get really hung up on how much it costs to attend a show, not just in sort of, you know, the normal stuff you have to take into account. So your fuel or your travel and your food and stuff like that. And if you're exhibiting the space itself, but in the time that you have to take out of work. And so many times, particularly in this industry, I hear people that are hoping to attend and different shows, and then they end up not turning up because work's got in the way. And it's really to remind you that the cost of not attending and not meeting new people and building new connections and building existing relationships could cost more in the long run than the initial loss of a day at work. So it's bearing that in mind when you're thinking about attending these trade shows or different events that the industry puts on, because I've always found them hugely valuable and I've built some really great relationships at these shows just through attending. Being an exhibitor this year at the landscape show was amazing because I got to attend the exhibitor party and really work on the relationships that I've been building with other exhibitors there as well. So That's really exciting. The other thing I wanted to talk about is about your attendance at the show, whether it's exhibiting or just attending as a visitor, really shows your support for the industry. If we don't have people exhibiting, people attending, then we don't have these shows and we don't have these amazing events that essentially can bring people together, connect people in the right way, and bring about collaborations and opportunities off the back of it. So I do think sometimes people say, well, what do you get out of it? And a lot of the time, it's not essentially what you get out of it there and then, it's later on down the line through the connections that you've made. I can't stress it enough, really. I know I seem to keep saying connections, collaborations, opportunities, but it's so freaking true, because over the last year, through attending other shows, I've had opportunities and built upon relationships from then. So it's not an instant thing. And I think this is the problem, particularly if you are exhibiting and you have to look at your return on investment. And I always suggest that you look at return on investment when you're doing any marketing strategy. It's really important to evaluate what you've done and also look at it upon whether you would do it again. And to make that decision, you really need cold hard facts. So you need to know what your return on investment was as a whole. But what I would remind you to do is, I'm a big fan of return on investment and working this out, but when it comes to things like trade shows, then you need to be aware that things don't happen immediately. Things do not happen within days. It can often take months and even years before something comes off. When we did our first landscape show before COVID hit, and obviously we weren't allowed to go and attend or exhibit at trade shows, I got some of my first members from that one trade show, but don't believe that they came straight away. Oh, hello, Stella. I have a cat with me now, kitten. She's trusting me now. Because I have dreamies. Yeah, we didn't get them immediately. Like, they didn't all rock up to the stall, meet us for the first time and join off the back of that. No, they joined within months of that show. So that was a very important show. I also met a few of my contacts, particularly Maggie from the Landscaping magazine, who I met her the first time at that first landscape show that I attended as TLC. And we were exhibiting, and I met Maggie there and we had a great connection. And then lo and behold, I became a regular feature writer for her and still am today. So I write for the Landscaping magazine every month and share some tips, hints and advice, or just thoughts on the industry and stuff. And that wouldn't have come off the back if I hadn't have exhibited, if I hadn't spent the money exhibiting, if I hadn't attended multiple trade shows following that, because again, I met with her again at Futurescape. And again, every time I do any kind of event or attend, I see if my connections that I already know are there, so that we can catch up and really build upon our existing relationships. And that is the beauty of it. Although it is a bit like selling landscaping solutions to your customers, it doesn't come off immediately. So you need to bear that in mind. Some people at the show were, saying it was quiet, or they hadn't seen as many people as they wanted to. But if they are just patient for a few months, they might really see the value of some of the relationships they did build there come off. And that's exactly the same in our landscaping and design business. Because our clients do not make decisions on 20, 30, 40, 50, 100 grand landscaping projects in days. It often takes months, and sometimes people don't come back, within a year, and they need you to reprice. So you've got to think about that and be mindful of that when you are looking at your return on investment on exhibiting at and or visiting a show and making those connections, really. The other thing I wanted to mention was, I always go on about quality over quantity. So again, when people are saying, oh, it was quiet, whatever, I felt that the quality of people that I was interacting with at the landscape show was of a great high quality, rather than previous shows I've attended. The quality of people that I want to connect with were maybe not the people for me. So they weren't perfect for TLC. Whereas I think the people that I actually spoke to and connected with this time were high quality. And again, it's not about the quantity, it's about the quality of that. It's about the quality of relationships you build off the back of that. It's about the quality of sales that you make. Because let's not forget, we do have to We do have to mention the word sales. We are all here to build businesses in whatever way that is. So whether it's selling your landscape, whether for me it's supporting other businesses so they can grow and build their businesses, it's still sales. And essentially this year I went down a no hard sales route. So I just gave out my information to other people, and now I trust that the right people will get in touch with me. And some people will say that's a really bad sales technique. And in my old life of being pretty, hard sales, I would say the same. But essentially, I want people to come into TLC that want that support, but also ultimately connect with me and my ethos. I do not want to have to hard sell people into joining TLC, whether that be joining on the membership, joining on the mastermind, or joining our course to start their businesses. I want them to want to be there. And for me, if I hard sell someone, that's just going to lead to, someone not really truly wanting to be there. So apologies if anyone thought that I wasn't hard selling them and making them buy on the day. And, I collected a few names and numbers of people that had their business cards on them, but essentially I'm not willing, and I don't believe I need to hard sell. And again, this applies to people that you work with. Now, there are sales techniques, and in the TLC members area, you can access the sales topic for some really good techniques on how to close sales as a landscaping and garden design business owner. But my argument is this: I don't think you need to hard sell. I think there's techniques you can utilize to get some answers quicker. And I 100% believe that you should, always follow up. So for me at the exhibition, anyone who gave me their details or I connected with will have had an email sent out on Friday just to say, hi, lovely to meet you at the show, and discuss whatever it was we were discussing at the show. But I'm not going to hard sell them. However, I will keep in touch with them until they tell me to piss off. And essentially, that is what I suggest you do when it comes to your landscaping business or your design business, and you are selling a design or build to a client. The key is in the follow-up, but I don't believe you have to go there, promise them the earth, and ask them to sign their life away and give you a large chunk of deposit there and then when they've only just been presented with the quote. I do believe it's all about going back, following up with people, and then continuing on the follow-up. Don't be afraid to follow people up, because sometimes it's just that it takes a long time to get a decision in this industry. And that's what I've always said. It's not an immediate yes or no ever. And in this industry, it's like months long. The pipelines are months long. So you have to be patient, but you also have to make sure you keep in contact and keep following up until you get an answer either way. So yeah, I didn't really hard sell at the landscape show, and I don't feel like I want to, because like I say, the right people will want to work with me. And if that's you like the sound of me and working with me, then do get in touch. info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. But essentially, I don't believe that's the be all and end all. I'm massively about supporting the industry as well, and supporting people in the industry. So it's by having a stand at the event, I felt like I was supporting the industry as a whole. And by attending the events going on later in the year, we're going to be at the perennial dinner next Thursday, which I'm super excited about. I've never been to a perennial event before, so that's really exciting. As a perennial partner, absolutely engaged with trying to make a difference to people's lives, trying to support people in their businesses, and perennial is there to help support people in our industry that are struggling, and I just want to support them as well. So I'm really excited to be attending the dinner and hope to see some people there, which would be lovely. But essentially, that's how we support the industry and support each other, by attending these events, by building relationships, by connecting people and building on those connections. That is how the industry flourishes, in my opinion. So that was the main thing. And the last thing I want to talk about is just fear, because I had to face a huge fear of mine, actually, which was public speaking. Now, if you guys have been around for a while, you will know that, or you'll probably assume that I actually quite like public speaking, because I've got pretty good at doing the podcast, and I'm pretty good at the training videos now that we offer in TLC and on the course. However, it wasn't always the case, and I still get nervous when I'm doing things like this. But it's even worse because this is me talking to a computer screen. Although I know lots of you might hear it or see it if you're watching on YouTube, I literally am just talking to myself, it feels like. So it's very different to them being asked if I would stand up at the front of a seminar space and deliver a talk that was related to women in the industry. I said yes because I wanted to push out of my comfort zone. And if you've seen any posts on TLC over the last few weeks, I'm all about the best things must be on the other side of the comfort zone. Because if we stay in our comfort zone, we stay stuck, we do not grow, we do not develop as people, as businesses, and we pass opportunities by, opportunities that could lead to something greater. So I said yes, and then spent the rest of the time worried that my talk wasn't good enough, worried that I wouldn't be able to do it, basically stuck in a state of fear that at one point I did wonder if I should just say, oh, I can't do it and cancel it. However, I knew that in order to get to the next level in myself, my journey as a person in personal development, and also potentially for the business, for TLC, it was important to get over my fear and stand up in front of the room and talk to people and, you know, discuss the things that I felt were important for that talk. So I did do it. And you know what? Nothing happened, as in nothing bad happened at the other side. And it just reminded me that we all stay stuck in this state of fear for far too long. So I worried about that the night before, couldn't really enjoy going out. And I met a couple of lovely, great guys. So Dan from Straight Curve, over from Australia, and the wonderful Paul Greenyer. Went out for dinner with them two and my husband, and we had a lovely meal and a couple of drinks. But all the time I'm worried about this talk, worried, so worried, couldn't sleep properly, so worried, got up at 6, so worried, practicing, looking, checking. Don't know what I could have done any differently at that point than I could have before I'd sent the presentation over. And essentially I spent all that time in fear, all the time leading up to that 2:15 slot I had. And then I delivered it fairly well, going from the video that Kate Charles Garden filmed for me. I didn't do too badly for my first time. I think I might have rushed things a little bit, but I didn't do too badly. And ultimately, there was about 8 or 9 people sat there listening, and a few people wandered past listening in. So actually, people didn't walk out in disgust or bored. No one walked out. Everyone who was sat there stayed and listened, which I was fully appreciative of, because if someone would have walked out, I'd have probably cried. But essentially, nothing bad happened. And I felt like I'd wasted so much time being fearful of that one thing that actually I need to get out of my own way and start saying yes to more things. So I have said yes to speaking again next year at the show, which I am excited about, probably less fearful now because I've done it once, and hopefully, who knows, I could become a public speaker. I don't think that's in the agenda for myself. It's certainly not something that I would love to do as a job, because it does still fill me with a little bit of anxiety. But the point of bringing that up with you guys today is there's going to be something in your life that you're scared of doing. That could be anything. And I'm not just talking about business, I'm talking about personal life. A lot of people, what I find, stay in jobs or keep their businesses the same because they're terrified of taking the next step. They're terrified of upsetting the staff they have and that they run off and leave them. Never really happens, by the way. Or they're terrified of leaving the job they hate to start their own business because they think, God, why would I leave the safety of that month-on-month money coming in to run my own business? And that's fine. But ultimately, there's something in your life, I can guarantee right now, that you're terrified of doing, that you might have already said no to, that I'm suggesting you start saying yes. Say yes to something that pushes you outside of your comfort zone. Not just push you outside your comfort zone, but helps you grow as a person. And I do feel that doing that, I know it might not mean anything to you guys, but to me, it was a big thing to speak on stage on my own with no one there to support me. Like, you have to understand, normally I would have had, back last year, Charlotte would have probably done that. I wouldn't have ever stepped forward and taken that on. To have that and to do it on my own was a big step for me, but a big step in personal development for myself as well. So I do feel like I've learned a lot. I do feel like I've achieved and overcome my fear. And off the back of that, more opportunities are coming through. So everything you've ever wanted is on that other side of fear. Just identify it and say yes. Say yes to something you're scared of today, please. That's my advice in this podcast. And that's it from me. My ramblings have finished. I'm getting increasingly more snottier as I go. So I will love you and leave you, my lovely podcast listeners. Like I say, I didn't mention TLC doors are now open. So if you've been wanting to join the TLC tribe, my wonderful members inside the members area of the Landscaper Circle, please do go to the landscapercircle.co.uk. On there, we've had a bit of a change up. I've started to rebrand stuff. Nothing's perfect yet because there's some coding to do on the back end. And anyone that knows me knows I'm not a coder or a web enthusiast. However, there you'll see 4 levels, and there's 4 levels now to the membership. There's a couple of membership options and others. So you've got Discover. I've got a free masterclass, completely free to anyone that wants to put their name down on the wait list. That will be sent out to you around the 7th, 8th of October. That is just a completely free masterclass. So if you want to discover more about TLC and how we can help you, then please go and put your name down the wait list there. That's the Discover level. Then we have Launch, which is from the ground up now. We have just launched that course earlier in September. We are looking to reopen the doors to that course probably November, December time. So if anyone is looking to start their garden design or landscaping business, go over to the website and click Launch, and that will give you some more information about From the Ground Up course and put your name down the wait list there. I then have 2 levels of membership now. We have the Learn. So this is just access to the library of TLC topics, and there's 28 of them, and obviously every 8 weeks we add a new one. So SEO part 2 is coming end of October, recorded by the very, very brainy, excellent member of mine, John Norman Garden Design. So he has recorded this topic because he is an absolute SEO whiz. That will be dropping into that library. So if you join on the Learn membership, you will be able to access every topic we've created with all the resources and templates. So you get access to all the training there to help you with everything from marketing, business, employment law, everything in between. I can't even begin to list everything. And then we have the Grow membership. Now, if you are looking to get to the next level in your business and you want to access monthly group coaching, this is for you. You get all of the training topics as in the Learn membership, but you also get access to every masterclass we've ever run, including all the virtually limitless events we ran with some pretty inspiring speakers like Mark Gregory and Neville Wright, ex-owner of Kiddie Care. They're all in there. And also you get, I think, 6 bundles of social media templates that you can use in your business straight away. So essentially you could do 6 months of social media in about an hour using those templates, and you get to access the monthly group coaching. So this is the membership for you if you want to access the monthly group coaching with the rest of our TLC members. And finally, I've got Accelerate. So if you are growing your business and you're at the next level and you want to work with me one-to-one, this is the only way you'll be able to now. So it's called the Accelerate Mastermind, and I'm going to be running it in groups of 4 to 6 businesses that work well together. So it depends what businesses come on board and how I match you up. And this will be a monthly mastermind session with the 4/6 businesses, and then off the back of that you'll also have a one-to-one call with me every month as well. So this is really the one for you if you're looking to really develop, accelerate your business to the next level. This one is application only, so it's not quite open. You have to apply, and then I will create groups off of the applications I get in. It's going to be quite exclusive, and obviously I want to make sure you fit with me and the people that will be the other businesses that will be in that mastermind. So the 3 that are open is go and put your name down the Discover masterclass to get your free masterclass, the Learn membership, and the Grow membership. They are both open if you would like to come in and join TLC. If you've been waiting on the sidelines for a while, go check it out. There's some more information about them on the website. I will have some more updates, so anyone who becomes TLC member, you will be able to take part in this competition that I'm going to be running. Again, I will have some more details for you guys probably in next week's podcast episode. Also, what I'm also then going to be completing a course with Perennial at the end of November, beginning of December, which I'm really excited about. And I'll be able to tell you more about that and how that's going to help any of the guys that work with me one-to-one. It's going to really, really help you guys, and the people that are in group coaching, actually help you guys a lot going forward. So there's quite a lot of exciting things going on. And yeah, I just want to say, hopefully I'll see you guys. If you're going to the Perennial dinner next week, I will be there. That's in London on Thursday night. Or if you are going to Futurescape in November, I think I'm going, I can't remember which date I've planned to go. I think it's 16th. But anyway, hope to see you then. In the meantime, if you have any questions at all, please get in touch. info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. If you want any support, or you're unsure, if you want to join TLC but unsure which one's for you, please drop me a DM on Instagram or drop me an email, and I will come back to you with some call times, because I have no problem having a call with any of you that need some support. That's kind of the whole reason I built TLC, really, is to support you guys and your businesses. So drop me a DM or an email and I'll come back to you on any of that. And yeah, I want you to have a great week and continue to look at your marketing and your events as from a return on investment perspective, but please do not be impatient. Give it time, because I think you'll find you'll get a lot more out of it the longer you leave it. And that's just my thoughts. So have a fantastic week, guys, and I'll see you on the next episode.